webinar midweek this March 15th, 2017. I wish I had sound effects. I am joined here with our trusted friend and partner, Mike Ficca.
Good afternoon, everyone. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody survived the storm on the East Coast.
I did.
I did myself as well.
Yeah. All right. So listen, today's a little bit of an off day. We really didn't promote the webinar. We didn't push things into the pro webinar today. And I think some people forgot that it was supposed to be here today because they knew that I was on traveling. But I wanted to put this out to you because we're going to deliver this out to everybody in the world today. Welcome to anybody who is here right now. We have a tremendous amount of stuff to cover with building the company and stuff. But in today's webinar, I'm going to be very short and sweet. I'm not going to take a lot of time. So let's just get started. And I know this seems really vague, right? But Mike's here for a reason today because I want to be able to talk all about you as a consumer, as a customer, as an investor, as a member, as a trusted individual within this network. And I want you to know, not just Mike, but everybody who's watching this after the fact, anybody who's in the chat room right now, why you are here. This is all going to be, this next little segment is all about you. And of course, then we're going to talk all about Dex. We're going to talk about all about us together and what we're going to accomplish. Before we do, I just want you to know, we may talk about money. We may not talk about money. Who knows? It always seems to come about a trading company talking about money. So here's what it comes down to: educational trade assistance only, and all results may vary. So today, we're going to talk all about you. And in order to talk all about you, you would think that I would have to tell you where I came from, but I don't need to do that today. Today is more about where can you as a consumer, somebody who is looking for something more, right? You all had this thing that, just about everybody I talked to, and I've only talked to a handful of people that were like, no, this is the first place I found, and I lucked out. Everybody seemed to have a horror story. Mike, you had your own horror story, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. Overseas binaries.
Overseas binaries. And that's what it came down to. A lot of you came here because of overseas binaries. A lot of you have a moderate amount of experience, but most of you don't have the right type of experience. You're usually given a lot of information and a lot of things to do when learning how to trade, especially with any company that teaches you the process of trading. They give you some small jargon, but then a lot of complication from that point. Do you notice that to be true, Mike?
Yes, 100%. It's just weird. You feel really good about a situation and you invest your money and find out that it's another scam.
Right. Now, how did you first start learning how to physically trade? What was teaching you how to physically trade? Because I know you had like a 1 minute thing you were doing for a while. Where did you go to learn? What did you research to learn how to trade?
Well, YouTube was big for me. I everything possible about how the 1 minute binaries worked and different things I learned on YouTube was just picking the specific broker that I guess I failed on. But
right.
No matter what broker I would have picked at that particular time, they all would have been a scam. So from what I understand later.
And what did you learn about, what was your first relationship with learning how to read a chart? Where did that come from?
That came from you. Because I didn't know how to read charts.
You didn't know how to read charts before me?
In 1 minute binaries, they and I should have known this from the beginning. They tell you, they give you little charts on the binary chart for the 1 minute. Strong buy, strong sell, or this, and so you hit the strong
right.
buy and you win. You hit the strong sell and you win, and then you walk away from your computer for overnight and you have no more money left.
Right.
So that's how I learned. That was my chart,
your chart experience, and strong win, strong buy.
Exactly.
Right.
It wasn't until here, and 3 months later when I started here that I started understanding charts and and really knew what they did, and still learning every day, to be honest.
Well, you should be, because when you first come here, you have to deprogram yourself of what you've learned from other things, because we kind of start you off clean with the mentality of price trading and using price action. And that really does have to wipe away all the indicators and all the process. So another thing about traders when they first get here is that some get into that mentality that, hey, this is a push button, push service, just give me my signal and I need to go tell me what I need to go do here so I can make some money. And that's also what we're not about. We're not about that because we don't want to create just a bunch of little robots of people. We're trying to create relationship with you, okay? But what you're looking for as a consumer, okay, sometimes becomes at first we seem like we're on the same line because we're a signals company. You want signals. You want to learn a little bit more. We teach you a little bit more. But then where we get separated at is what you want to see as a result from lack of effort. Okay, and that's where some of you kind of get confused. Is where, oh, wait a minute, I just lost 2 trades in a row. This can't be the system for me, or I've just done this and it doesn't give me my ROI, or it's too close and I'm going to have to pay another $197 and I haven't learned everything I need to learn. I might as well this can't be for me. These were all the mentalities begin to happen to just separate.
Max, can I interject something really quick?
Sure.
When I started with the company, when I really got to talking to you a lot more, Max, and he'll admit to it, but he hated to just give out signals. He's an educator. He wants you to understand why the signals are the signals. So when he says, yeah, you just push a button and blah blah blah, he really wants to teach you. And I realized that when I was he would always be frustrated. Oh, these guys just want to just push a button and that's it. I want them to learn why they're pushing the button. That's why I learned as much as I learned from you.
Right.
So that's just to give a little bit more of a backstory on you with that. You're an educator.
Yeah,
you want to see people succeed that way.
No? I forget that sometimes. I forget about the trials and tribulations that one goes through when you're dealing with individuals. And remember, we've dealt with over 2,500 people through this network.
Easily.
And we have worked with thousands of people beyond that in Trader's Mind and other series that we've done. And I've learned a lot from people. And one thing I've learned about you, okay, not just you, Mike, but everybody that's either watching this, and it doesn't matter what type of mentality you are now. I didn't say that I've learned everything about everybody, but one thing I've learned about one thing of all of you are consistent is that you do want to be successful. That is the one consistent margin between all of you, is that you want to be a success. And that's what you're hunting for. You're not hunting for, millions of dollars. Most of you, okay, the majority of you are looking for very easy to obtain goals. I'm talking $1,500 to, $5,000 a month goals, right? And this is very much obtainable, but it requires you to do something that you have to find out about you. And some of you don't have it at first. Some of you don't have this particular word in your arsenal, and it's discipline. Now, I'm not talking rigid, snap to attention, yes, sir, every time somebody walks in a room discipline. I'm talking about following the rule discipline. Remember, it's easy to get the OG monster, the overly greedy monster, to march into your room and go, you know what, I just lost that last trade. Let me triple down on this one. Or, hey, I just won these last 2 in a row. I got to win the 4th one. Let's go. And you throw 10 contracts on. Well, let me see if I can push my account up by 15 contracts on this next one. We've all been there. I've seen it 1,000 times. I've done it 100 times. And I learn my lessons each time, and I pray to the porcelain god just like I did when I was a teenager. But the fact remains simple. The process on who you are is easy to figure out because it's us. We have learned as traders, because we are traders ourselves, how to build a system for other traders. Now, we're not sitting here on high going, do everything we say and not as we do. We are really about doing the process, learning more things about the process every day. Mike said he learns every day. Guess what, folks? So do I. And when I'm learning, I'm dissecting and putting into a process so I could teach those that haven't learned it yet. Okay, so we have a lot of great things to discuss about us and you as a group, but one last little thing about all of you. If you are going to be here and you want to obtain your success, success doesn't come without work. And the work that has to be done doesn't need to be hard. Don't get me wrong, it's going to be tough, but you don't need to make it harder than it is. Go with the flow. Don't think so much when you lose. Remember that it's easy to be doubtful. It's hard to be faithful, not to us, but to you. And that's where you, as a trader, really start to separate yourself from all those other things that you've tried, from all those things that you've worked with. You've been searching for a while, you've been looking for a while, you've been trying to find that one thing that will gel with you, that will make it work with you. Well, guess what? You have to stop somewhere. And this, I hope, is that place for you. This is not a sales video. This is actually a promotion video for you to become successful. And the best way for you to be able to do so is to allow yourself to have it. Okay? To make that decision that no matter what system is out there, you can learn it. This is one of the easiest ones you'll ever learn. But it's one of the toughest to accept that it can be that easy. Okay. Now, all about Dex. One of my favorite parts. I love everything about Dex because we've worked very hard to get where we're at. When we first started, it was a mentality. It was, I'm going to get even with all those overseas brokers. Let's create a corporation that will go after all those overseas brokers. And because we were masters, and we are masters at search engine optimization. We are masters at marketing. We're very powerful, if you believe it or not, in marketing. If you know anything about marketing, one of the hardest things to do in marketing is obtain customers, to attain attraction to your website. And that is one of the easiest things for us because we use a process. There's people out there that can pay a lot of money to go pay for advertising and drive traffic and all that stuff. But we don't spend 1 cent on advertising. Everything is done by word of mouth, by referral, or by organic search. And the reason why we have done it this way is because we knew in order to keep our prices lower, okay, that we had to find those particular people that were looking for something more. And that's why you found us on YouTube. That's why you've seen us in Facebook. That's why you heard about us in somebody else's Twitter feed or something else to that effect. You've searched online for Nadex strategies or Nadex 5-minute signals or whatever it was about Forex, and you found us. Okay? You found us because we are masters at marketing. Now, being masters at marketing, that's where that position stays. We are also masters at learning our lesson. We've learned from other systems that we have done and other programs that we have done. Even the beginning part of Dex was tough because there was a time in our history right here, okay, where we were really about how can we fulfill an ROI with customization, okay? Let's give people what they let's fall victim to the same things other people have out there. If you want to make $1 million per month, we went down to that whole infomercial road, and guess what, folks? It doesn't work. It doesn't work because it's fake. And we didn't want to make it fake. We wanted to make it real. That's why I was in there working 17 hours a day to trade, to give trades out. I had a 92% success rate, but then we fell victim into the whole world of battling for our own process of, against our competition and fighting in rooms and creating Facebook wars and all that kind of stuff. And then I just resolved it by letting it all go. And in March of last year, 1 year ago, March 5th and March 6th of this year, 1 year ago, we made we made a decision that we were going to stay focused on one thing first. And guess what that was? Yep, it was. It was how can we create a system that touts to help as many people as possible reach their idea of success when all we really focus is our primary focus originally was on the signal and on the success of the signal and on getting the customer themselves. We had to make sure that when the customer came on board, they had the top line customer service. And I had a conversation with Amy, I had a conversation with Brian, and I said to them, if you are going to deal with people, you have to make sure you help solve their problems on how to get into the system, how to work the programs, where they need to go. And you need to do so at any cost. And then I had to put restrictions on myself too and give myself open frame. I had to tell myself, if you really want to help people, then you got to talk to them. You have to build relationship. And that's why we have consults. That's why we have free consults. You know how many people charge for consults? There's a lot. There's a lot of companies out there that will charge $50 to $100 per an hour for a consult. And so that could be very frustrating for some people, right? Because some of you want information. You don't want to pay an arm and a leg for it. And I don't blame you. I really don't blame you. You know, there's a lot of companies out there that could probably help you and give you a lot of detailed information, but it's going to cost you. So we knew at that time that we had to give you a lot of the information. Some of the stuff that you just needed was just a conversation, just to know that it was a real company, that it was somebody that was there that really did care, and you heard the sincerity in their voice. And what better place to go and talk to when you could talk to the owner of a company? And by the way, when you talk to Mike Ficca, you're actually talking to another owner of the company, of the Our City Investments Index series. He's worked his way up to a point to where he became partner of the company. And after 5 months, that's an impressive feat. He proved his integrity, he proved his honesty, his transparency, his willingness to work and help others. We need many, many, many more of them, and you're climbing the ranks. Now, what's next with Dex is one of the most important things in our history. We began to branch out some. We have Dex Trader, Dex Signals, Dex Indicators. We now have Dex Effects, a news source and trading for Forex, the actual market of Forex, and different things about the Forex market. We'll also help you learn more things about trading Nadex as well. So there'll be things in there, and it's not a paid series. That network over there, it does have a signal service for Forex, but you can also go get all the training for free like we've done everything else. And the cool thing about Dex Effects when it finishes up here over this weekend and the beginning of next week is that it's going to deliver all of its news sources through all the other Dex channels, Dex Indicators, Dex Trader, Dex Signals. Now, also, these membership webinars that we do right now, like the one you're on right now or you're watching right now, are also going to be done in a particular fashion. We're normally having them 3 days a week, but it became a little bit too much with a lot of stuff that we're building. So we're going to jump down to 2 days a week. We're going to have maybe even just 1 day a week. We're going to have one big webinar, maybe in the middle of the week, maybe on a Wednesday. We're going to poll some of you to find out what's the best times. You know, we're going to put out a poll for everybody to kind of fill out. You know, what is the best times you're available, and we're going to kind of see where everybody's at. We're going to try to meet in the middle. Remember, they're always recorded and archived. But we're going to be putting out very special webinars that are going to be sort of automated, right? And they're going to be reoccurring, so you can go to them at one particular time of the day or many other times during the day. If you ever need a tune-up, you can always join that same one again. There's going to be a Dex Trader webinar that's going to be talking about the WB, and it's going to show some live trading happening where Mike and I and some other people can go in and do 5-minute trades and SR Maxes and all these other things. Each one of the series, each one of the inventories, if you will have its own sort of version and line of webinars that you can join and get information when new ones come up. And this way, if you ever need a tune-up on, you know, how to risk manage, how to money manage, all those great things, you'll be able to go and watch that webinar. And even being a member, you can go watch that webinar and learn some good things. And of course, there are sales webinars in there too. So if you want to send somebody you know to one so they can get some learning and go in there and they can buy in, that's completely up to you at that point. So there's going to be a lot of that good stuff that's going to come. Now, why are we doing that? Is because we want to be able to provide information. Like Mike was saying, we're about teaching. And those webinars will free up some time for us, help customer service, give a lot of people an understanding of what we're doing and the different products that we have. And it's just not just a simple YouTube video sitting there, right? You're actually going to see interaction amongst different traders and different things happening in those times. Okay. So we'll be recording those, we'll be putting them out what we call on evergreen status, to where they'll always be playing. So you can go there and join them and see the interactions amongst the people, and that's a good thing as well. Now, one of the last things that I need to talk to you about in this little series about the All series that we're going to be doing is that it's all about us together. And I should put a comma here. But the solution of this company really came in the mentality of us being able to help you, because while we're helping you, you're actually helping us. And together, what can we build? And this is the fun part. This is the part where the network on where it can grow. You know, we start out as a small little circle with a handful of people in here, but as a circle gets bigger and bigger in depth, and it just encompasses more and more things that we can do. We have people who bring more product and more things on board. We begin to see that there's so much more opportunity to buy and build bigger things. One, we're We're a marketing firm. So basically, anything we can think of, we can build. Isn't that cool? Right? Two, we have a server network, a data network, a marketing firm. We have an advertising network. And that's two different things, by the way. And we have a distribution network of how we can deliver these things. So it's not just about services, right? It could also be about product as well. And sometimes teaching is a little bit of both, of how to use those products as well as provide the products. So this is something that we have created along the way. And what great services and systems we already have, how could we apply it and overlay it to any market from that point? And that's huge. Because most companies have the biggest problem when they first start building anything new. If one is money, okay? Is money a problem with a company that knows how to go make it? Right? We're basically carrying around an ATM in our pocket. Anything that we can think of, we can build, right? And we can build internally. We don't have to spend $50, $60, $70, $180,000 to build a simple website. It can be done directly in-house. And then market it, advertise it, get it delivered, get organic traffic to it. What would it take for that? Not much at all. So basically, if anything we can think of, we can build. What could we build then? Well, we want to make sure that we can build the right things, not just anything, but the right things. So the first thing we're going to be focusing on building is the automated series of Our City GoGo. We call it Our City GoGo, OCGG. And what this is a news service event network of all the cities in the United States, basically any city in the world, will have a little mini website about little things that are going on in that area. And advertisements that will go on that page, and those systems will be basically delivered from just our network, just Our City or Dex Trader, Dex Signals, Dex Indicator, the Dex Effect system will apply news for financial side. There'll be a lot of things in there. And so we're always looking for more people to be involved. So that brings me to my last part here in this All of Us Together series is what could be your position with this? Well, while you're learning and you're learning these processes, you can get involved in all different types of ways. So we're very excited to say that there's many opportunities to get involved with, from article writing to working the networks, to taking on a site, to learning how to use advertising and marketing to be a part of that series. But there's parts of investment that you can be a part of. There's so many different things. And we call all of this, simply enough, the Dex Core. And if you become part of this Dex Core, I'm telling you this now because when this comes out, you'll want to be a part of it. But this isn't something you pay for. Well, not really. You don't pay for, you can't just buy your way into it. You actually have to work your way into it. Working your way comes from working hard in the trades, learning the systems, working with others, becoming elite, going from elite to senior and studying and looking at the process, doing the trading. And then from there, you get senior level 2. And all those senior level 2 traders will be a part of this Dex Core. And from this point, we can build just about anything we put our minds to. All right. Mike, do you have anything to add in the final thoughts? Anything that you wanted to kind of put in?
No, it's all from where I started to what is happening now. It's like night and day. It's almost like a remedial Dex to modern day Dex. In 5-6 months, we've come so far, and I'm just excited to see where the next 6 months is going to take us.
Well, like I said from the beginning, the moment that we got, and I was telling Brian and Amy when we first came to the decision in March of last year, I was going to we were going to quit everything. I was going through some health issues and got some pretty bad news, and I wanted to quit. I wanted to run. For the first time in my life, I just wanted to run back to my family, hug and squeeze them, and tell them that I'm just going to sit in this chair and watch the sun come up and go down and play with them as much as I possibly can. But I had to make a decision. I had to make a decision at what was my life going to be if I allowed that to happen and just, faded off into the woodwork. Well, glad I didn't, because everything came out perfect and it's great and I love life even more now. But it was because I came in with this mentality, I'm not going to run away from my problems, I'm going to run at them. And when I did, I learned one thing was true. The moment that we decided to do this, every step that we took was compounded and solidified and turned into a foundation. Every marker that we hit, when we got to 10 people, to 50 people, to 100 people, we seemed to go, we would go like this and come like this. But look, it almost looks like the market, right? And this is what we've done consistently throughout the year, right? And so, of course, most companies would go, "Oh yeah, 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 I got my money, yeah, I got my money. You know, I'm gonna spend my money," and they wouldn't focus on one most important thing, and that was the system. But like I told Amy and Brian from the beginning, we have to focus the majority of the money that we make from the members back into Dex, and in order to do that, we have to kind of let a lot of our, personal statuses go to make that work, and we've sacrificed a lot. Amy, myself, and Brian have sacrificed a tremendous amount to be here because that we know that with each mark that we make, not only do we grow, but Dex grows. And Dex has to grow, not to a level of, oh, well, here's the Dex 7.0. It's teaching and learning from our mistakes, releasing things, trying things out, letting them go to a point where we know that they won't work before we remove them. Things that do work, we stand on top of them. We compound that process more and more and more every day. And when we have to build separate systems to help those people that want to have more, but keep them separated from everybody else at times because they all have to be in their own mentality, right? You can't have a 5-minute mentality sitting right next to a daily trader mentality, because daily trader mentality is like, hey, I just put my system on. I'm going to go grab myself a cup of coffee, maybe a donut. I'm going to come back in a couple of hours. And the 5-minute guy's like, I just did 10 trades.
It's
So
true. It is true.
we needed to make sure that we had, and even the indicator people compared to Dex Trader, compared to Dex Signals, we were seeing the mentalities. That's the other thing great about our company, is that we're all about the data. We love data. I'm a data hound, something fierce, right? And if I were to give you all like a chart to follow, a bunch of questions, I'd give you about 50 questions to ask. I could probably put you all in your own little psychological category in a way about how you trade. But there is an advantage of having this kind of relationship, and building every single day is another step forward into where can Dex be in a year from now? Okay. What can it own? What can it obtain? What can it change? Right? What do they say? For evil to truly take over the world, it only takes a few good people not to do anything. Well, guess what? We're doing a lot. The best revenge against all those overseas companies and all the things that you guys have been through is, guess what? It's living well. And the best way for us to live well is to keep building, keep moving. Like the famous Dory says, keep swimming, right? Just keep swimming. But the idea for all of us, and this is where I'll get into my final thoughts here, and I thank you very much for your thoughts, Mike, is that yes, we have gotten to a point with the company, and the time is coming right now that the next step of Dex is about to release. And this next step for Dex is heading into Forex, is heading into that real. This is like Nadex is like boating on a lake, right? You're sort of encapsulated. You have an area, where the depths are. It doesn't really move a lot. You're enjoying the sun. You're on a party boat, right? The world of Forex is like the ocean. It's vast. The depths are long, and the troublesomes are hard. You could be happy 1 second, squall comes up and big wave and whatever, right? But there has to be protection there, and that comes from training. And so that's what we're doing now. We're building the next form of part of Dex to be able to provide that information to prepare you what's about to happen in your life. You could stay on the lake, you could stay on the party boat. That's completely fine. But there are going to be those that they desire that next step, and that's where we're getting a lot of people to that solution now. And when that happens, we're going to grow to such a rate that it might seem overwhelming to you. Where all these people come from? What's going on here? Am I being lost in the sea of people? And the answer is going to be no, because as we grow, remember, as the company grows, we're investing back into the company. More customer service people, more consultants, more people that are going to be here working. So you're probably going to get even more attention from this process. All right, so keep that in mind. The final move. I'm trying to create an area. We actually had to purchase our own data bank now. Go figure, right? We've been battling the server companies now. We're just about to come to the end of that move here. The final move is going to happen. We're trying to make it happen this weekend. So I'm letting you all know. Everybody's going to get this video. Everybody's going to get this information that Dex Signals, Dex Trader, Dex Indicators are all getting a new server. So if that happens, you may get lost, what we call in the DNS static. Okay, so the domain name servers are very important. That the IP is changing. So when the IP is changing, sometimes your computer will go to the old IP. Okay, so we're gonna, if that does happen, I just want you to reach out to customer service, and they'll be able to get you covered in it. Even if you can't, even the old one will still be there enough to where you can use customer service to get to it. Okay, and we'll teach you how to, swipe out your cache, wipe out all your cookies, all that stuff in the final move. But that might be happening this weekend. If not, it'll be happening definitely by the next weekend. Lastly, the pathway of a lifetime. All of you that are in the room, all of you that are watching, even Mike Ficka and even myself are on a pathway. We've all made a decision to be here, to make something happen, to drive our forces into something better, to where we were at, to where we want to be. And during that pathway, we build relationships, we create foundations, we create a village, a town, a city, a world, a country, whatever it might be. But it's going to be one that if you truly want to be successful and to get out of what you were doing before and be a part of something bigger than just yourself, then I'm going to tell you right now to hang on. And no matter what happens, no matter if we're working on this system about going into the network and we're in one of the doldrums before we get a big push again, I want you to tell you, survive this, survive the drawdown, because the drawdown is what can pull you out of this if you're not careful. But what we're here for is to help you survive that drawdown, to stay in the pathway, because that pathway is still going up no matter what. No matter if it looks like this on the chart, the overall value of it is still going up every single day. So keep that in mind. Where this is going to take you, Dex, and all of us to is a point where you'll be able to make money, you'll be able to have opportunity. We'll still be surviving every single day. We'll be we'll be building relationships, we'll be having a tremendous amount of value on, if you can think it, we can build it kind of process. And just imagine, just sit down and imagine this weekend, what could you build once you get to your success, once you get to your line, whatever that may be. What can you build? What can you sit back and do from that point with that freedom? And I don't want to show you pictures. I'm not going to show you pictures of like Lamborghinis and homes in the Maldives and all that kind of horse shit, right? I'm not going to sit on my bed and fan out $100 bills and say, this is what you could get to. I'm not that kind of person. I'd rather tell you the kind of security you can have is making sure you never go without food or a roof over your head or money in your pocket to be able to take your kids and enjoy your family. Or if you don't have a actual, you may have family, but you may not have a wife and kids or a husband and kids and that kind of stuff. You might be in that learning or being signal or whatever, right? I'm not going to try to be too politically correct here, but let's just say you're on your own. You now have a force to be able to protect yourself for the rest of your life, right? Forex is never going to go away. Money is never going to go away, at least not in our lifetimes. So take the advantage of being here and learning and being a part of it. What does it cost you? It costs you a little time. It costs you a little money. But the amount that you can make along the way will blow that away 1,000, 10,000 fold. And you'll see that because you're building a relationship and you're building a foundation for yourself. All right, Mike, I want to thank you for sticking around with me and joining me today. It's always important that you're by our side and you're always here. I appreciate that.
Always a pleasure, Max.
For the rest of you that are in the chat room, and even those that you are watching, I really don't have a lot of time for questions and answers today. But if you do have any problems, reach out to chat support, reach out to the chat room inside. So I'm going to sort of end the webinar here right now. But all of you that are watching this, remember that you have a tremendous responsibility for yourself to finally accept what you want. If you take anything away from this webinar today, we talk nothing about truly trading other than what you physically want from this market and what you want from this company, and what you can get from it is only what you're willing to put in. And that's what it really comes down to. Mike got partner because he worked his ass off to it. If you're willing to do those things, you will get recognized. You will see that process, and you will, prosper from it as well. All right. So thanks for getting to this part of the webinar. I appreciate everybody here. And as always, I'm Max Farrow. This is Dex, and trade well.